to do up there quite often is try to support the rural communities, the rural telephone companies. I'm lucky enough to serve as Vice President of National Telecommunications Cooperative Association, which represents about 1,400 companies. That's part of what I was doing in D.C. this last week. By the way, if you're ever in D.C. and get a chance to fly out of Dulles Airport on U.S. Air, pass. Not going to work out. The weather in D.C. whenever I left yesterday was the wind was blowing 65 miles an hour. Now in D.C. that's quite a little breeze. To you cotton farmers running a sand fighter, that ain't nothing. But they don't know how to handle it up there. So we took a 50-mile cab ride to Dulles and tried to get out. Consequently, I ended up in Denver, DFW last night around 10:30. It's pretty quiet in DFW at 10:30 at night. But one of the things that we do up there is support the rural communities, the rural telephone companies, as well as electric cooperatives, all cooperatives, in trying to make sure that the representatives and senators and legislators as a whole recognize the importance of our telephone companies and the services that we provide out there. One of the things that we've been working on here lately, and the board and I and management team have spent a lot of time on this, is trying, who has heard the word broadband? Everybody's heard the word broadband. In the old days, today I guess, whenever you pick up a telephone, if it buzzes and you can make a call, that's what the telephone company was for. Now they're pushing toward the new era, and that's going to be a broadband connection. Dial tone will probably be a byproduct. So what we're doing is we're pushing a lot of fiber optics to locations throughout the serving territory. We're doing it as time and finances allow. And one of the places that we're pulling, you probably have noticed, anybody from out there at the Lasbuddy area, we are pulling fiber optics to the Lasbuddy area, and we'll probably be able to provide some high-speed broadband. We are going to put a new cabinet at Clay's Corner, and from that area we'll be able to also provide some broadband connections. I'm sure Kirby hates to hear that. Lariat construction. Lariat, we're going to begin construction in the spring in Lariat. We're moving that direction. One of the things that we're also going to try to do is some of these locations that we can't get to immediately with fiber or new technology is provide some wireless services so that you'll be able to have connections to the outside world. A lot of people don't want a computer, don't need a computer, and have been reluctant to use that in the past. We expect that to change. I don't know how many of you remember whenever we went from when you pick up the phone, and I'm dating myself here, you pick it up and say hello simple, or give me what, BR549. And then we went to the hardwired telephone. Remember the little, it was hardwired into the wall, and it had a rotary dial on it. Well, nobody wanted to have the rotary dial. Now nobody has the rotary dial. Everything is digital. So anybody that's got a digital telephone, which is most any telephone you've got now, you're operating a computer whether you want to or not, because that's exactly what those things are. So that's going to be our primary push in the upcoming months, this next year, is to provide broadband services to the cooperative. We've done some in West Plains, in your subsidiary. We've had a very good learning experience. Anybody know that we plowed fiber in Muleshoe, Texas, and Sudan and Olton? If you ever go into one of these older towns where the maps have not been kept up to date, and you start boring and trenching through the back alleys, you're going to be surprised. Chief Frida's laughing here. You're going to be surprised at what you find. But the plant department has engineered an excellent utility locating tool. It's called a case backhoe. If you want to find something in the alley, just go put a backhoe in it. You're going to find it. So we've had some interesting times, but we got it done, and we are continually hooking up to some of those services. One of the things that we need to continually watch, and I ask for your help on this, in 2011 we will begin a new legislature in the state of Texas. Now, of course, we've got November coming up, and by the way, the people in Washington, D.C. are running right below the radar screen because of November coming up. They don't know what to expect. Some of them are running scared, some of them are really happy, but very few of them want to talk to you. Our local representatives all visit with us, so I don't have a problem with them, but some of the other ones do not even want to visit. They're trying to stay completely out of sight and out of mind. There's a chance that in this next year we'll see a new governorship in the state of Texas. We're going to keep a continual eye on that. But one thing I did want to point out, if you would help me on this, anytime that you get a chance and there's a question that comes up, and you know it's going to be good or bad, either for your community, for your farm co-op, for your electric co-op, or the telephone co-op, please contact your representative. You would be surprised how much that really helps. When they start getting letters from customers of 5 area telephone out there saying, do not forget us or we will forget you, you'd be surprised the strength that carries. So please help me. The board does it, our team does it, so anytime you get a chance, do that. One other thing we just completed, and we're actually kind of on the leading edge of this in some of the co-ops in the state of Texas, is we've just completed a fiber optic ring. I don't know how many of you, quite a few I'm sure, have 5 area internet or internet of some kind. You use our telephone lines as a connection and have that. How many people get upset when your email goes down? Everybody in the room. What is it about that? You know, if the phone doesn't ring, you don't care. Let your email goes down and we start getting phone calls. One thing that we've done to take care of that situation, as time goes on, more and more and more of your business will be transacted over the internet. People, it's just like trying to write a check right now. Nobody wants a check. At some point, nobody will want paperwork. They'll want it electronically, where that you have to send it in over the internet. If your internet's down, that's going to be a problem. So one of the things that we've done is we've recently plowed a fiber optic self-healing Ethernet ring, Ethernet delivery. What that means is we've got everything connected with a ring, so that if you cut it in one spot, Ernest, you haven't cut it yet. Someday with a post hole digger, maybe you will. But you know, what is it? You know, you can take a 640 acre farm. We've got one fiber optic line running down through it. Guy gets out there on Saturday morning with a pair of hand post hole diggers and will hit it every time. I don't know how you do that. In the past, if you hit that fiber optic line, everything stops. Dial tone, internet, email, everything stops. Now with the self-healing ring, if you cut it in one spot, the traffic will turn and go the other direction and complete. So we're trying to make sure that we stay on the edge at 5 area in your co-op and providing services that you really need. By the way, that I don't know how many of you are into speed, but that fiber optic ring is connected. We've got a new connection in Lubbock, Texas through a company called Texas Lone Star Network, which your cooperative is part owner of that. There are 29 companies in the state of Texas that own this company, and 5 area is one of them. So we use that connection in Lubbock, Texas, and that connection is 100 million bytes. Now a guy asked me one time, he said, what's a byte? I said, that's 8 bits. He said, what's 8 bits? And I said, it's just a little nibble. But as far as 100 million bytes, I can't tell you what 100 million bytes is, but it's a big delivery system. It's very fast and it's very robust. So that's a few of the things that we're doing. I always encourage you every time to, if you get a moment and would like to visit with us, please come to my office, or Mark Washington, or Jack Boutel, any of our people up there. If you've got a question about what's this trench doing going down the road, give me a call. We'll be happy to tell you. Sometimes as we're transmitting